Oh, that looks good. I mean, just look at it. I mean, just look at it. I mean, come on. I'm Andrew St Pierre White, explorer, overlander and broadcaster with over 40 years driving 4x4s in association with Egon, game-changing simplicity. In the recent past, Heine Kleiman and I drove our HiAce 4x4 all the way from Perth to Melbourne for two main reasons. The first, a video that has already been released, covers our testing of the Egon 48-volt hub, the very earliest part of product development testing. The other reason was to visit the cruiser company. They make bar work for HiAce. Also, some very nice bar work for Troopy, but I'll get to that later. Their equipment is comprehensive, really quite impressive. Having the HiAce here allows them to test fit the bar before it goes in for powder coating. Then after an hour or so in the oven, out it comes, another hour or so to cool down, and the team fit it. Doesn't that look good? Cruiser company in Melbourne is one of the most impressive 4x4 bar work manufacturing places I have ever seen anywhere. And I've been in this business for a long time. They have very advanced machinery, very advanced technology, but it's very, very impressive indeed. And you know, you look at a YouTube video or a website, and it's very difficult to get an idea of what's behind a product. Jeremy is the brains behind everything I've shown you up to the now. He's actually the engineer. So I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
On the screen now is the HiAce bull bar. When you start rear bar, correct. I said bull bar, I said rear bar. See, what is the first thing? Do you chicken and egg?
Yes.
Do you say, oh, we want to build a bar, we need scans on which we are building it, or do you design a bar and then bring in the scans to design how you're going to mount it?
Good question. So I think it's definitely, we decide the vehicle and then we just get the car in, get the scan, then design the bull bar, the rear bar. I did the same thing.
You did the same thing, see? Not just a pretty face. So you get the scans.
Yes.
Do you have an idea exactly what you are planning for it? Because you've already built many bars for many vehicles.
Oh, yeah, correct.
You then take that technology and know-how, but it was more difficult for the van, wasn't it? Because it's not a ladder frame chassis.
Correct, that's definitely true.
How did you get around that?
That is a really good question. Because I didn't design this particular one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had somebody else do it?
Correct.
Why?
Why?
Difficult.
Because I was busy.
No, that's no excuse. But is it? It's more difficult than normal.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't know how it was designed, but we can have a look because I do have the CAD model here.
I mean, it looks very cool and everything, but I'm not an engineer.
Correct.
So it might look okay, but not be okay.
So look, if we have a look here, we've got this. This is our typical chassis mount design. It's a 10mm plate.
Yeah.
We've got this folded bracket that comes up here. So we've got the two bolt holes on the chassis. Mm-hmm. Look, it is really very typical to our designs compared to the Land Cruisers, for example.
Right. But it has a built-in tow bar.
Correct.
As your other bars do.
Yes.
So you're building the torsional strength of the tow bar, adding a bull bar, a rear bar around that.
We all do it.
Okay. And here you didn't have such a big challenge because its towing capacity is only about 1.5 tons.
It is quite small.
So it was easier than say for a Nissan Patrol, which is more than double that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But I guess with all of our bars, like you mentioned, we have a kind of library of what we do, how we approach a design. So we do just transfer that here. So similar to our other integrated tow bar rear bars,
yes,
we have just the RHS going through the chassis mount, and it's really quite similar to what we're doing. So when we go and do the tow bar test on this vehicle,
so that's key, the tow bar test.
The tow bar test,
got to pass certain regulations.
Yeah,
for
correct.
Tow bar.
Yeah, so that's lining up with the Australian standard.
Yeah.
And it is a destructive test, with a physical test. So we've got our rig out in the warehouse, and we'll just load up the bar, and that's just to confirm what we already know about the strength of the bar, and to meet the Australian standard. Okay. So this is actually our DAC output that we get from our system that records all of the testing.
Right.
So this is a tow bar test here. I think it was it's a Nissan GU.
Yeah.
You can see we've got load cell. We've got all of our data here from the load cell, the time throughout the test. This is all of our info from one of the gauges. This is just the initial test. It's pretty cool. You can see the video feeds during the test, a few different angles.
And you are measuring the tolerances there. How much is it allowed to move under a certain load?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the Australian standard, you've got, I think it's 13 mil maximum deflection once you've unloaded, if that makes sense. So if we bend the bar more than 13 mil, that's bad.
Oh, okay.
But
after the load, it can't return less than 13 mil of its original location.
Correct, I think that's right.
Okay.
But in terms of our testing, it never gets anywhere near that. And so what we actually do just for fun is we measure how much is deflected during the test.
Okay.
And then it comes back and we're like, oh, that's great. It's moved maybe 1 mil, half a mil. But yeah, so that's our testing, and then we have all of that recorded digitally, which is great.
Now, what do we put on the back? We have space underneath the tail of the HiAce for a second spare. So on the left, we're going to fit a box. Yeah, this one needs a bit of adjusting. Nice. They have suggested this one, but I think it's just too big. It makes the vehicle just look a little bit odd. So they have another one. And we've selected that. That now looks right.
Oh look, there's more. I think it works really well, and I can relocate that camera right into the middle, and then the camera will still work, because we won't need the number plate light anymore.
So that is our work completed, but obviously there's still lots to do. So we are going to leave the HiAce here and come back in a month's time. At this point in the story, the HiAce stayed with Cruiser Company for them to design a bull bar and side steps. Heiner and I returned to our homes in Perth. An interesting thing is happening here. Companies like Cruiser Company and Headspace Campers are seeing this massive potential in HiAce because of the four-wheel drive conversion. But remember, a lot of people won't need the four-wheel drive conversion. They will want the bar work because they're going to take a standard HiAce, maybe beef up the suspension, put a little bit of a lift on it, and put some more aggressive tyres on it, and actually keep it in two-wheel drive and use it for touring. So this is not just a four-wheel drive tourer that we're developing. We are working with these companies to develop a HiAce to all four-wheel drive that will be amazing for overland touring in Australia. Now, I don't get any money I don't earn any commissions from the work done. What I'm doing is building this HiAce for myself and Heine, and I'm part of the team of people coming up with this new concept. And a few of you are complaining it's such a long build. That is because apart from the flooring and the bench seat, as seen here, with which the Hilux is now equipped, so few vital accessories to turn a delivery van into an off-roader are available off the shelf. They have to be designed and developed. For example, these are the very first renderings of the bull bar currently being designed at the Cruiser Company. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. The other thing is, you might say, oh, there's lots of van equipment out there. Yes, but they're all Instagram vans. They're not overland four-wheel drive touring vans. There's a massive difference, as you will discover if you continue watching. So there is a move, there is a heightened popularity. Suddenly HiAce is finding its place. The build that we're doing now really is a collaborative project. But as I drive it, as I live out of it, as I'm involved in this project, I'm becoming more and more inspired by it. Heine and I camped 2 nights on our way over to Melbourne, and I was settling down to bed on the second night, and I turned on the camera onto myself, and these were my thoughts. Today I had a revelation. It was my place to sleep tonight, and I have decided that in 2026 I'm going to build a HiAce, and this is why I started this evening by presenting some of my thoughts on the HiAce as a long-distance tourer, and I keep on comparing it to Troopy, because Troopy is my all-time favorite, as most of you know, and this has a lot going for it, and a lot better than Troopy. And I'm learning as I'm using this vehicle, and I'm seeing not just its potential, I'm now taking advantage of its potential. And I'm going to do that right now, in that I'm going to sleep in here. So I don't have the roof conversion in this vehicle, and it doesn't matter. I can sit up. So during the day, I might open the side window, and even without the interior being built this moment, the back, and I could chill out in here and close up and have a perfectly good night, just for me, with this seat that we have installed in this vehicle. It's a seat that people can sit in while driving. Legally, it has seat belts, or it folds flat as a bed. Together with that performance on the open road, I just right now, even without the interior being built, without a kitchen, without the functionality of the camping systems that we are going to build into this one. Remember, this is a product demonstrator. This is not my own vehicle. This is a product demonstrator, and it's a way that I can get first-hand experience of what it is like to live with HiAce. We will be putting in gull wings. Where are we putting in the gull wing? Well, almost certainly here. But you'll only be able to access part of it from the back here, because part of it is going to be our water shower system accessible through the gull wing. All of these things to come. But I am so excited about this, because the kind of traveling I do, it's rare that I will hit an off-road obstacle that the Troopy struggles with. It's rare. So, which means that the off-road ability of this thing will equal anything that I am likely to be confronted with. It's not much bigger than Troopy. In terms of its size, it's a little wider than Troopy. It's a little longer but not much than Troopy, and yet inside it is, you cannot compare the two. It has got so much space, more space than Troopy. I honestly believe that with work we can get the ride not just good enough, I think we can get the ride very, very good. I know the camping system is going to be exceptional as we talk about it, as we imagine where the fridge might go, where the cookers might go, where the cooking will happen, how the awning will work, all of these things. I have realized that even without this roof being converted and lifted, this would be amazing. But probably only for one person. But for two, you would need the roof conversion. But there are many people like me that like doing solo trips. You don't need the roof conversion. It would be nice, yes. Do you need it? It doesn't. It'll only add masses of advantage if two of you are travelling. If one of you are travelling, well, think of this. If you don't, with your partner, don't generally sleep in the same bed, because maybe you're a grey nomad and you got beyond that and you like your own space and comfort. Well, you've got one person upstairs and you've got one person downstairs. This kind of thing is not achievable with Troop Carrier. And yet, actually, to drive on the open road is nicer. Off-road, I don't think it'll ever be as good, but I think it will be very good. So in 2026, I am going to be building myself a HiAce based on everything I'm learning building this one in 2025. Now 48 volts is a lot more complicated than 12. Far more complicated, because the vehicle will continue to run at 12. The auxiliary systems will run at 48. The advantages, I cannot even start to tell you the advantages of 48 over 12. We even discovered a couple of new ideas while we were testing this system. They are beyond the scope of, even Heine, who really understands this stuff, is saying, you know what? We could, this, and he is being inspired and excited.
We're at the halfway point and everything still works, and we found out that the way this system is designed, we can now do things that are unheard of, that you couldn't do before.
So the 48 volt project is again, it's a game-changing simplicity. That is what Egon is all about. The idea is we take something that is, that's a bit complicated, and saying, no, it's not complicated, because we will handle all the complex stuff for you. That is the aim of the Egon 48 volt hub. So stay watching, make sure that you subscribe. Just tell YouTube that you want to watch the remainder. That's more shows. That's what that little bell is for. Looking forward to seeing that bull bar and those side steps. Those videos to come.